Alright, so we got here the next grill. What this video is going to be is about converting this grill from propane to natural gas. First thing, you can open it up. There is an owner's manual that's going to tell you how to do this. I'll post some pictures of that. First thing you're going to want to make sure you get while you're at the store is this natural gas conversion kit. You are going to more than likely need the regulator that comes with the kit, as well as the flexible hose with the quick connect on the ends. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is locate where the propane tank would hook up. There's a hose, we're going to follow that hose up, and it comes under here to the point where the fuel enters the barbecue. This is what we're going to remove. We're just going to go ahead and use an adjustable wrench. We're going to go ahead and stick it on here and loosen that, remove that. And then we'll install the new one. Alright, I've unboxed the new regulator, and we're going to go ahead and install this in the same position as the other one. And the regulator, we're actually going to poke through this hole right here, and it's going to mount on the inside where these two screws are. Okay, got it hooked on. Going to go ahead and shoot this through the hole. Open the doors on the inside here. And we're going to go ahead and mount it where those two holes are using the two screws that are in the back of the regulator right here. Okay, so we now have the regulator installed. The second step here is going to be to just hook up the 10-foot flex to it. It's going to be pretty simple. Once again, we're just going to go ahead, grab the flex, hook it on here, and then we'll have our quick disconnect fitting that goes here that'll hook to our main gas line. Alright, the next step is going to be to go ahead and remove the grates. Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and remove this deflector. Now you'll notice there's a little cotter pin here. We're going to go ahead and remove these. And then right down here there's a clip. We're going to just stick the screwdriver in and pop those out. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab this with my needle nose. The other thing is I've just found pushing on this a little bit, you can get it to get through that hole and not have to bend the pin too much. Once you do that, you're going to move to this end of it here. Let's see if we can get this end. And we're going to take the screwdriver down, and as you lift it up, the little electrode that ignites, it's going to want to come with it. So we just pop that off with the screwdriver. On both sides, it just plugs into that burner tube, and then that burner tube will slide straight out, and you can just make a pile of those. They'll all be the same. And you're just going to repeat that process all the way down the grill. Fortunately for me, I went ahead and got the 6 burner edition, so there's quite a few of these to do. Not a factor though. Once you get the hang of it, it actually works out pretty quick. And you can have these out and done in no time. Alright, so now that we got all the burners out, our next step is going to be to install the orifices. Now, size does matter on these. There's one for the sear burner and a couple for the main burner. There is some reference numbers in the manual. I'll post that. We're going to go ahead and get our 6mm socket or nut driver, whatever you have. We're going to stick it in there, and you can see the orifice in there. So that's our goal. We're going to remove that and put the appropriate sized one in. Alright, so I've got a 6mm socket here, and these aren't going to be tight. You notice I just gave that a little turn to break it. You should be able to just take it out by your hand. Thing to remember with that is when you put them back in, you don't really want to crank them down either. If you're wrenching on it, you're definitely putting too much pressure. And then there's your orifice. I'm just going to go ahead and make a pile of those and just keep on moving down, using my wrench to get it started. Or you can use a nut driver. Remember, it's just a 6mm. This is just the quickest one I could find. And there you go. Another quick little hack I'm going to show you. These orifices typically fit all the way down in, so it's kind of hard to get on. So one thing that I'm doing with this is I just tore a little piece of the plastic off of that orifice. I'm going to go ahead and poke it in to this nut driver here, and all that's going to do is just take up a little bit of space so that when I put the orifice in, it will actually be poking out a little bit so that it's easy to start and I don't have to try to stick my hand in there and hold it. Now you can see that's going to go ahead and stick out so that when I go ahead and stick my head in here and get that lined up, all I need to do is twist away. And then just do a final little torque. And I'm done. Repeat. Okay, so we got the orifices all back in. We're going to go ahead and put the burner tubes back in. You'll notice there's a little 90-degree thing on that, so that's going to let you know which way these things go. We're going to go ahead and stick these back in, and also on this end, this needs to slide over the orifice, so if you need to get your head in there a little bit and have a look, do it. Now that we got those in, we're going to go ahead and clip the igniters back on them. And if need to, you can lift them up, but just go ahead and stick the two little prongs in the side and do that on the other side, and you're set. Once you get that done, just repeat that process all the way down. They're just going to push on and poke in rather easily. And I wish I knew a trick to make this easy. I went ahead and just took my needle nose, bent this so it wasn't on so much of a 90. I'm going to just poke it through the holes. Once I get it in, I'll just go ahead and grab my needle nose and bend it again. That way the pin won't come out. So I'm just grabbing my needle nose again. I'm going ahead and straightening that so it'll go and slide in that hole easier. Once I get that in, I'm going to just go ahead, grab my needle nose again, and bend that back on a 90 to secure that in place. Okay, moving on to the sear burner, we're going to go ahead and just remove the grill. Set that down. The problem with the sear burner is we need to get the spark igniter off. We're just going to go ahead and take this screw out so we can then lift the burner out. Once you get that off, you can lay that down, and then there's going to be two more screws at the back here. You need to remove those, and then we'll just go ahead and lift it straight up and out. Once you get that done, it's going to be pretty much the same process. We're going to lift it up, slide it out, go ahead and set that down, and then we're going to go ahead and get in here and change that orifice again, just like we did on the others. So we got that orifice changed. I'm just going to go ahead and reinstall the sear burner, and I'm going to go ahead and just do it reverse order of how we took it apart, and then I'll put the igniter back in place as well. Alright, some of the last steps here. We're going to get it hooked up so that we can check the gas the flames on it. So we're going to go ahead and put the new quick connect on my gas, where my old one was. So on this one, you're going to notice I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a pipe thread compound, pipe dope, whatever you want, some Teflon. The reason we're going to do that, and we didn't do that on the barbecue, is because the barbecuer itself had flared fittings that were all brass, and so they fit together tightly without requiring the use of a pipe thread compound. Where I'm going to use a black iron nipple to go into here, I'm going to need the pipe thread compound. So I've got my gas shut off. We're going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now we've got that done. We're going to go ahead and hook this up. We're going to insert this. We're going to pull it back. It's going to slide in, click shut, and you're ready to go. Make sure all your knobs are off. You can turn the gas on, and then we're going to make our flame adjustment. Alright, so I went ahead. It's actually lit. It's just almost impossible to see. I've got it on low right now. What's happening is the manual is going to tell you to go ahead and pull these knobs off, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But I want to show you how to adjust these flames. They should be about 1 inch tall and solid blue. Now, when it's on high like this, you're really not going to notice much of a difference. You can kind of see it there at the back. These are both on. Actually, the other one went out, just the one burner's on. Hold on. So the reason we are actually adjusting it, now you can see they're both on, is the one on the left has been adjusted, the one on the right has not been adjusted. So what you're doing is you're essentially a quarter turn to the right. They call it a 90-degree turn. But the main reason for adjusting that, I'm going to show you it, we have to turn these down to low, is when you turn it down to low, you'll notice there's still flame present on the left-hand side, but the flames went out on the right-hand burner. And so that's why we're doing that quarter turn adjustment. Now it's a quarter turn and stop, so it's not like you can go past that. It's just going to be a quarter turn to the right and then it will stop. So make sure you make that adjustment, otherwise it's going to be super annoying, because every time you turn the grill down to low, your burners will go out, as this one on the right has done, because it is still set for propane. Okay, remember I told you I was going to show you how to make those adjustments. We're going to go ahead, just pull straight out on the knob, set that down, stick your screwdriver. This is likely going to be the second most annoying part of this, is finding a screwdriver that'll fit in here. It has to be a flathead that's very skinny in order to get in here. You're going to feel it. You're going to just turn it all the way to the right. It generally will stop. It's about a quarter turn. Once you do that, you can place the knob. I'm going to go down along here and do it to all of them, and then I will replace all the knobs. Once again, the reason we're doing this is so that when you adjust it to the low, you're going to want to check the burner at high and at low. But when you turn it to low, if you haven't adjusted this properly, the burner's going to go out. Now each gas barbecuer may be a little different. You may not need to go all the way on yours, but on mine, that's what I'm finding, is if I don't go all the way to the right with that quarter turn screw, that the burner will go out when I turn it to low. Alright, once you made the adjustment, you're ready to go ahead and put it back together and start cooking on this bad boy. I'll get all these in, we'll lay the grills on top, and we'll be ready to go.